What's going on? Day one here, E3 2010. We just finished at the Nokia Theater, the Nintendo press conference. Brad? Nintendo. So, Vinny, I think you owe me $10 on the 3DS hardware announcement being Iwata rather than Reggie.
Money, but you get my respect for sure. That was a good call. That was a good one.
So they showed a ton of games.
Yeah.
Actually, had quite a few games.
Yeah.
A lot of familiar franchises kind of coming back. Zelda, I think everyone was really anticipating that was going to happen.
Yeah.
A lot of technical issues during that presentation.
That was a little rough.
That was rough. That was hard to watch.
And people are playing it all the way down there right now, and,
Yeah.
and presumably having a better time than they were on stage.
You know, as we all know, the Wii is not the best stage presentation or bright light presentation. Guys.
That's absolutely true. I still feel, though, that what I saw was the Zelda that I know.
Yeah.
I didn't feel
it wasn't
like
as radical a departure as they had kind of led you to believe.
Exactly. I think that's something that I don't know, the Zelda franchise could really use. It needs a kick in the pants more than just Wii Motion Plus control.
The control stuff looked cool, though.
Certainly. But it definitely still looked like Zelda. Some nice color in there.
Yeah.
Again, hard to really blame Miyamoto for the technical difficulties.
Yeah, sure. But they still have 1 foot or at least maybe 1 toe in the Wind Waker art style. It's still
I guess
more or
maybe
less
a
kind of
little-
realistic, but it's a little bit cel-shaded looking.
I guess there was some kind of hard lighting on that
There's
stuff.
some whimsy in there.
What else?
Also, the other toe in the Wii Motion Plus pool, which is kind of nice. I mean, not giving up yet.
Right, it's like, no, we're still going to support. We're going to make a game that uses it. Promise.
The Wii Remote?
What else was they showing? We
Dude,
got
it was a cavalcade of fan
Mario
service in this
Sports
thing.
Mix,
Yeah.
which was all of the Mario Sports that we couldn't make into individual games.
Right.
I
was surprised.
Beach volleyball, dodgeball.
I was surprised. I thought that was going to be here is a whole line of new Mario sports games, but it was
Smart of them if they're going to do that, just mini game collection it. Wii Party, which I guess means Death of Mario Party.
okay.
I don't know, or
did-
just successor.
Didn't look like a board game so much.
Oh, it was totally.
Is it really?
There was like hopping on squares and stuff.
I wasn't paying attention.
I don't.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think we all kind of spaced out during that part, checking your phone or something. I will say the game that got my attention the most during this presentation was Kirby Epic Yarn.
Yes, that looks amazing.
That looks amazing. As they'd said, it's been a long time since Kirby's had a console appearance for Nintendo, and just the art style looks incredible.
Beautiful.
They found just a really interesting way to kind of have that homespun, like Little Big Planet kind look.
Yeah.
What's that?
Funny yarn, homespun.
Exactly.
Oh, the puns never cease. But it's
Speaking
not
of epic.
But it's not just a cool art style. The way that they work, like the cloth effect into the gameplay, you can sort of like unzip things and make them open up. And
Very excited about
like,
seeing that and
pull
playing
the
that
backgrounds
myself.
together. You can see the folds and stuff.
Mario kind of
Like they take the concept and embrace it and go all the
Here
way.
they go again.
And I guess we're going to be playing that in a few hours. So
is that going to be
that's
fantastic?
something,
Excited to see
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Disney's Epic Mickey, which I think at some point we'll have to roll back the tape. Pretty sure at one point Reggie called it Disney's Epic Disney.
Disney Epic Disney.
Disney. Epic Disney.
When he was
All right,
greeting Warren
let's check that
Spector. And Warren just rolled with it.
He's like, all right, whatever.
He's
I got my sweater vest. You
he's
can't
a
stop me.
professional.
Welcome to Wasteland.
I got my Andy McCurdy gear on. Let's do
that,
this.
that looked cool. I was kind of impressed by that.
The Epic Mickey stuff.
Yeah.
I like the art.
I wish they'd explain more what they were doing while they were demoing it instead of kind of
Yeah,
like
he was just sort of kind of prattling on, but like the animated dialogue exchanges looked really cool, like the kind of old school.
The 2D stuff at the end was the most impressive thing. Just the Steamboat Willie art style
yeah.
being kind of shown there.
But I kind of like that they're sort of calling back to the tradition of Mickey Mouse side-scrolling games.
Sure.
Like the Genesis and Super NES ones were actually really good games.
Oh, absolutely.
And they've got a bunch of side-scrolling stuff in there, so that's cool.
The return of Donkey Kong Country.
Dude, yeah,
which I'm going to say it. I called it rare, or not rare, retro.
Retro, yeah.
Making their Donkey Kong Prime.
Yeah.
Although,
well,
not quite.
not a prime so much as
No, but I called that pairing. I'm just going to say that.
sure.
That looked good. I guess I don't have like a huge personal connection to the Donkey Kong Country series.
like
The music is invigorating, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, there
All
was
the
the one-
bananas are cool.
There was the one part where it was kind of like there was a sunset effect, and all you
Yeah,
saw was
the
the
silhouette. That looked
silhouette
that looked
stuff
really
with
good.
The tie
And like
the hat.
the scene.
concept page for that yet? Is there a concept page for just silhouette
Yeah, like,
character? At
There
this
should
point?
be because I've seen like 3 games so far at the
That's
show.
got to be at least 5. Yeah.
And then,
Giant
like,
Bomb
the-
community, jump into action.
And then the background with like the octopus pulling the ship apart and stuff. There's a lot of cool looking kind of scenery in there.
That stuff looked awesome too. I'm just gonna say it right now. I couldn't give 2 flips about Goldeneye.
A new Goldeneye game is coming up.
Sorry, it's not
Yeah.
1996. I get
You
that
know
people
what?
have fond memories of it, but it doesn't matter. And,
You know
that's,
what-
and that's not. Those aren't the people that made the Goldeneye that you love. That's just a name. It's just a brand. It doesn't even have Pierce Brosnan in it. It's Daniel
Yeah,
Craig.
that's what weirds me out more than anything. It's a Pierce Brosnan Bond movie starring a Daniel Craig model.
I'm sorry, I'll catch some hate for that. I don't care. That was just that seemed cheap and easy to me.
Anyway.
Yeah, kind of no comment. Yeah, I like Goldeneye as much as anybody, but
It'll have Odd Job.
Japan.
It'll have the Golden Gun.
Yeah, there was no online. That's why you got four dudes to sit next to you.
Yeah.
There was no online, and that was as good as console first-person shooters got at the time. So,
That's true.
You know,
We'll see.
reserve final judgment, but I'm saying flat out right now, I'm not having the excitement that some people seem to experience from that. What else? What else game-wise that they were showing here? I feel like there's a ton of stuff that we're missing. All we can really think about right now is because there's a line of women standing right behind the camera here,
Pretty
holding
ladies.
up 3DSs.
Pretty ladies.
Yeah, the Nintendo pretty lady booth ladies.
3DS is attached to
We've
them.
got
tethered.
3DSs all over the place here. Iwata came out, showed the hardware. So two cameras on the outside, 3D picture taking.
Yeah.
That's kind of nuts, right?
Yeah, we'll have to see how it works. I have no idea how that technology works really with the stereoscopic stuff. So I'd like to. The weird thing about this is they couldn't show any of it during the presentation.
It
so
was
all like, take my word for it.
There was a huge
It's
element
in
of like,
3D.
trust us. It's awesome.
And come on, who thought that when he was like, we know we can't present this. We know that you can't. You get a 3DS. I really thought it was coming.
And you get a 3DS.
For a split second,
Everyone in the audience.
This is pretty good because, clearly they did not say a damn thing about when this is coming out.
Yeah.
Like, this is still far in the future.
Yep.
They did, though, show...
Well, that press release they put out a couple months ago said, like, fiscal 2010 in Japan or something like that, out by March next year.
So they showed about Kid Icarus.
Yeah.
That was kind of the big
Speaking
sell,
of
right?
fan service, man.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, some folks went nuts here for that.
Some eggplant wizard up in that.
I like that. I like it.
That was
That's
pretty
my
good.
favorite part of
That was pretty
Icarus. But, let's talk about what they showed of that game specifically because that looked a whole hell of a lot better than any DS game I've seen.
Yeah, but not as good as the rumors had led us to believe this thing would be.
I guess I hadn't heard any of those rumors, so
people have been saying it was like as powerful as a Wii up until now, but it looks.
I'd say it's not too far
Yeah,
off.
I'd put this looked about on the level with a PSP. Like that looked like a PSP game to me.
What are your thoughts on odd-size screens? Smaller, lower screen, bigger, 3D upper
You
screen?
think they should have just had two wide screens?
No, I'm just wondering if you think that makes it
I mean,
weird.
I'm glad they have a wide screen because wide format is good.
I'll take a shorter screen for an analog stick any day.
Yeah.
Give me analog.
I'm a little worried that D-pad is like all the way down at the bottom though. That doesn't look too comfortable.
And I wonder what it is. If it's a slidey kind of like PSP style one.
What do they call it? They call it the slide pad.
Yeah, the slide pad.
Yeah.
They call it the NES Max, I think.
Oh god.
It's the best thing to play
it
ice
has to
hockey
be better
with.
than the Max.
Yeah. So what else was new on that thing? Oh, a 3D like a.
Oh, the slider. That is crazy. That could be amazing.
So just to allow you to control the amount of depth that the 3D has, it's smart because it can be uncomfortable if the 3D is too severe. And I imagine some people are just going to say, I don't want the 3D at all. Jeff's actually off playing it right now. We're going to get to go and see it at the Nintendo booth later today. So we will have our time with it.
Here.
Or maybe in a minute if we can make it up there before the Sony press conference. But that's coming up soon here.
Soon.
They announced a bunch of partnerships. They didn't really say a lot about specific games for the 3DS.
Like there'll be a Metal Gear Solid. There'll be a Resident Evil.
There'll be Resident Evil. They did say DJ Hero 3D. A bunch of they showed Level 5.
Oh yeah, new Professor Layton. Oh
3D Professor Layton?
Oh dude, that is my killer app for that thing.
3D puzzles. Oh, Professor!
Atlas was up there. So yeah.
Oh yeah.
3D Persona. Yep.
You know what? For some like out of nowhere in the middle of this thing, I had a vision of York appearing on the screen. Like, what would that do at a press conference? Like these crazy.
Oh yeah, I would run screaming. I think.
Yeah. These crazy reveals. If they revealed a new Deadly Premonition here,
we got to wrap it up here. We got to go to the Sony press conference, and we got to go to the show. So, yeah, let's move on.
Okay. Good show.
Yeah, your thoughts? Good show.
yeah, it was pretty good, We'll see how Sony goes.
Highs and lows. I'll be very
Let's
excited to see.
not declare a winner yet.
You'll have to come back and let me know how Sony goes. I'm going to
yeah.
be hitting the floor as E3 2010 continues.
Hey, what's up? I'm now joined by Brad. Brad,
Hello.
you went to the Sony media briefing.
I did. I'm still credentialed from it.
Yeah, you're still all credentialed
Still
up.
blinging.
Now, I didn't make it over to that thing.
Yeah.
What was the big stuff that happened there?
Lots and lots of games.
Yeah.
They just showed gameplay demo after gameplay demo after game announcement after
That's kind of shocking to me because you think about like all the games that they've announced leading up to the show, with Infamous and Killzone and all this stuff. Like, what was left?
Those composed a large portion of what they showed.
Okay,
but new Twisted Metal,
right.
New weird kind of catch-all stars of the PlayStation 2 action game with like Jak and Daxter and Ratchet and
Heroes on the Move
and Sly Cooper. Weird.
Yeah, Sly Cooper, 2 Sly Cooper products.
Yeah.
Between that and Sly Cooper Collection, right?
All 3 games on one disc in 3D.
In 3D,
and HD.
That's pretty crazy. It almost makes you wish that they'd held off on that God of War collection until the 3D stuff.
Totally.
Yeah. Now, what about the Move?
So pricing and dates and stuff for that thing. $50 for
okay.
Another $30 for the navigation controller, which is kind of optional.
Right. And of course, you need a camera.
The camera, yeah. So maybe it sounds nice at $50. You know, you start to add that stuff on. A little less nice,
right?
But, you know,
they did at least say that first-party software would be $40.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So that's they kind of compete with Wii software on those prices.
Yeah, they showed this game Sorcery, third-person kind of magic shooter, puzzly action game. That's kind of neat. I mean, that thing is a very technically capable device. Like the mapping of the motion seems really good. So.
Now, what about it? Seemed like there was some kind of like madcap humor moments here between David Jaffe rolling out in his ice cream truck.
Yeah, Sweet Tooth drove David Jaffe in to announce the new Twisted Metal.
Okay, that's pretty crazy.
That was pretty wild.
And Kevin Butler, the fake man from the advertisements.
Kevin Butler is realer than anybody else at that press conference.
Forever may he reign!
It seems like having a ad man at that thing.
He does real well live. Like I kind of wondered about that. He's obviously working off a script in the commercials. He's got direction. They can do multiple takes.
Yeah.
He pretty much destroyed that place.
Nice.
Just watch the speech. Like, you might not be into it, but like you can see how it would rile people up. It was pretty good.
Now they're spinning something off of him with some.
Yeah, there's this kid Marcus.
We need publicity for the PSP.
There's like some origin story. They're basically like it was weird to hear this, but they referred to them launching a new marketing effort or a new campaign for the PSP, like almost acknowledging.
So Marcus will be the PSP
Marcus
man.
is the PSP spokesman. Yeah, and he's like this 12, 13-year-old kid. Weird. There's an origin story, like he goes in and interviews with Kevin Butler.
Fire away, KB.
And like they hire him as some kind of PSP strategist.
Clearly no one at Sony has any ideas about what the F to do with the PSP at this point.
Sending the wrong message, maybe.
Get 12-year-old kid in here. You can't do any worse, right?
But it was funny.
We went 2 UMD drives to 0. I don't know.
I come to think of it, I hope they don't run the whole Kevin Butler concept into the ground.
Oh, they will.
You're onto something.
Okay, well, how about third parties? Were they well represented here?
EA, like John Shepard.
Okay.
Especially given that guy's history with Microsoft, really weird to see him on a Sony stage.
Wow, yeah.
He came out and talked about a bunch of EA stuff, like Medal of Honor and Dead Space 2 are getting really elaborate collector's editions exclusive to PS3 with like older games packed in and stuff.
Okay.
Gabe Newell.
Yeah.
Dude.
Now, I've been pretty outspoken in my comments about the current generation of game consoles.
For the harsh words that guy has had for the PS3 in the past, like he came out, Portal 2 for the PS3 with Steamworks support. He stood up there and said, basically, I'm confident that this will be
the best version on any console.
Pretty stark about face for that guy.
Yeah. How about 3D? That's been something they've been pushing. They finally rolled it out recently.
They showed like 10 minutes of a guy playing Killzone 3 in 3D. I thought that looked pretty good.
They give you glasses in the crowd.
Yeah, everybody was wearing glasses, but nice sense of depth. A lot of cool action. Just a big montage of all these games that are going to be 3D.
Yeah, it sounds like they're working with some third parties.
Yeah, a lot of third parties, like Mortal Kombat is going to be 3D, and like you mentioned the like camera angles change in 3D.
Yeah, so they'll like play up the 3D action a little bit. How were their performances? Jack Tretton holding it down?
Yeah.
Nice.
He got as real as it gets.
No need for ponchos.
Yeah, that was the main reason I wanted to go to that thing. It's always great to see him do his thing.
He's a good MC. Absolutely. Like he doesn't even need a teleprompter; he just goes there and he does it.
All right, so I guess that sounds like it's about everything that went down at Sony.
That was Sony, yeah. Some people saying Sony won the press conferences, but some people saying Nintendo. Not many people saying Microsoft.
Not too many people saying Microsoft.
But
it's for sure.
Yeah, strong showing from them.
All right, so that's it for pretty much all the press conferences at this point. We are now into full-on go see game, play game, write about game, talk about game mode.
Yeah.
So, let's do this again next year. What's up, everybody? The first day of E3 2010 has met its end. has met its match in the form of us, GiantBomb.com, here in our palatial compound, located in beautiful South Central Los Angeles, which is 1 mile away from where?
Figueroa.
Great, terrific. We just want to quickly run through what we saw on the floor today. We got through all the press conferences and saw some games. So let's see. I went and checked out Call of Duty Black Ops. Seemed like one of the more important games at the show. People like that. Call of Duty.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that's why I went and saw it. They showed pretty much a lot of the same stuff that they showed during the various press conferences and some of the other stuff that they've released. The WMD level, which is kind of the snow level you're breaching, and a lot of the stuff shown in that first trailer. And then another level, Payback. That is a helicopter battle level. You steal a hind, you're just blowing them up with a helicopter, and the explosions look fantastic. I think that game has a lot of promise. I went on from there to check out Portal 2, which I think looks amazing. There's some really neat stuff that they're doing with a lot of the puzzles and laser bridges and lasers and suction tubes that you can use with portals to suck up turrets to get them out of your way, and cubes that can refract lasers to kill turrets and all this other stuff. And there's a whole co-op component to it as well as this whole single player part with personality spheres and all this different stuff. You know, it's some good jokes in the trailer. You should definitely check out the trailer on the site if you haven't seen it yet. It's some funny business. Then I headed over to EA, checked out a little Need for Speed Hot Pursuit. Yeah, that's Criterion's Need for Speed game. It kind of takes it back to the cop versus racer stuff with some of the stuff from Most Wanted, where you're laying down spike strips and helicopters. The difference is now you can be the cop in a multiplayer battle. They've got this whole social networking thing set up where you can be recommended, here's the race you want to do if you want to get ahead of your friends on the, kind of like career mode bounty leaderboards and all that stuff. A lot of the online functionality stuff that Criterion did really well in Burnout Paradise. You can see it kind of evolving into something else here. Let's see. Hung out with Paul Barnett for a little bit.
So, let me get it right.
Okay.
This is a bet,
Yes.
but this is for charity.
It's a charitable bet for charity.
So for charity, I do this. You bet I won't do it. I do it. You agree to give to charity for the sick children.
Yes, exactly. I will help the children if you follow through with this
And the bet is,
amazing.
just so I get it right, you want me to go up on the EA stand,
Yes.
and sometime in the thing, you want me to give away another T-shirt of a competitive product.
Exactly.
But as long as I go up and I give it away,
The children will be
the
saved.
children will be saved.
And that's what I'm planning to do.
Keep it real. Let's get it going.
Always an event. I got to see him up on stage introducing the Star Wars Old Republic trailer, which is always that EA stage is always the biggest thing because apparently people don't know what video games look like. It's like, yay, he cut the guy. Do I right click on that to make it happen? And I saw Mortal Kombat. And I feel like we've talked about that in like 20 different forms, and we'll talk about it in 20 more before the show's over.
We scratched the surface.
I will gloss over it here because I'm in the process of writing something up on the site. You can check out our live stream for more on that. But
Also, we will be playing more of it.
we are going to go back and play more of that.
Know
so
that. Oh, no.
Get over it.
They didn't like that at all. Maybe we shouldn't go play more Kombat.
Ghetto Bird.
Let's keep this going.
Let's keep it going. All right. Ghetto Bird. Brad, go. What did you see today?
All I saw after press conferences was a little bit of Nintendo stuff. I played Zelda, Skyward Sword.
Okay.
And I thought the Motion Plus controls are really good. I thought you might disagree, but I think the sword is pretty one-to-one.
I don't think it's very one-to-one at all,
Yeah.
but I think it works for what it's
Yeah.
trying to do. I think it controls just fine, but the one-to-one thing is really... It implies something very specific that game does not do.
Yeah, but it's a lot better than Twilight Princess.
The sword swinging is there's a fidelity to it that you did not get out of Twilight Princess. It's not just the equivalent of tapping a button anymore. So
I like the look of it, and the story sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Happy to see more.
Sky Country,
Whenever they
Sky
will show
World.
it. Sky.
Ryan, what did you see during the day today?
I spent a lot of time running around just booths, just kind of doing Surface booth tours. So can any of you tell me where Master Chief is? Uh-huh. Yeah. No one is more authentic than Kid Rock. No one. Video games.
Yeah, video games.
So I got to see just generally what Konami's showing, Warner Brothers showing, Disney's showing. Got a big old thing for Tron. As you see, I'm standing in front of a huge glowing Tron logo. I can, I believe, enter the game grid if I pass through. Disney's Guilty Party. Now this is being developed by Wide Load, which was recently acquired by Disney Interactive. It's basically like your mystery board games, your clues, kind of transported into a video game format. I saw this back at GDC. It really struck me as something that, it's family friendly. It's kind of for the kids, but it also struck me as a whole lot of fun. It seemed like they kind of took the basic, the obvious mystery genre tropes and kind of jumbled them all together into one big package. And it's got a nice look to it. It seems like it's a lot of fun. I'm actually very much looking forward to seeing if I can get my hands on this game some more at the show today. Then I went with Brad and we checked out the Nintendo booth, and I got to see all that 3DS stuff. We saw a bunch of crazy stuff. Face Ace. We saw the Metal Gear Solid 3 kind of interactive demo-y thing. There's a non-interactive Paper Mario demo that they were showing there as well. Just a ton of kind of small weird things, kind of proof of concept stuff for the 3DS, and that stuff, it proves that concept really well.
Now, I understand you played Castlevania this morning as well.
There's definitely that strong God of War influence, that character action.
What did you think of the game?
I think it looks pretty good. It controls nicely. It's got that kind of pause thing of like whenever a hit happens.
Any hit or a killing blow?
Any hit. So it's kind of like mid-combo, things kind of freeze for just a split second as you're comboing up. Using the cross-whip thing, so just a lot of whipping around. Not super precise, but responsive. It seems like a solidly made game, if nothing else.
Cool. All right. Anything else from you guys?
I think that covers it.
All right.
Test Drive Unlimited 2. It's Test Drive Unlimited, but more so. You go to Ibiza this time, as well as Hawaii.
With twice as many islands, hence the 2.
And like double the amount of roads. They've added roads to Hawaii. There's all sorts of off-road stuff. They've expanded on like the social elements of it. It looks like Test Drive Unlimited, but more so.
All right, but more so, and that's what you can expect from us in the days ahead. There's still 2 more days of show going on, and we've got appointments filling up all that stuff. Going to go check out some more stuff from Sony and 2K, and we're going to slip off to play as much Mortal Kombat as we can between appointments, and that'll be good. Yes. All right. See you tomorrow.
We will go deep. Deep.
Microphone check. Microphone check. The last. Okay, never mind.
All right, I'm talking over here.
Hey, what's going on? I'm talking over here.
That's great. I'm talking over here.
I'm talking over here now.
Why would you talk over there when you were talking over here?
Well, now I can talk over here.
It's pretty traitorous that you would talk over there.